Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pro Wrestling World Talks with Dan and Mac.
Wow. Talk about an interesting 3-day period. Yeah. When you start Monday, Sami Zayn and MJF are your world champions of two of the major promotions in professional wrestling. As of the recording of this video, which is July 9th, 2026, we have two new world champions. And we will be talking about that today and plenty much more here on tonight's edition, this week's edition of PWW Talks. I'm your host, Dan, and I am joined by my bestie, my wrestling life partner, so to speak, head row life partner, as we divulge and go into in-depth about this week's interesting title changes that happened this week. Some people like it. Some people hate it. Some people are in between. Some people just didn't like the execution of it. I like the results, like the two people that won. I'm excited for that. I'm happy for that because this is Kenny Omega's first world championship since 2021. And then you have CM Punk. This is the first time he has been WWE champion now since 2013. Yes, he was the world heavyweight champion, but he was not the WWE lineal champion, which he is now the lineal champion, defeating Sami Zayn on Monday Night Raw on Netflix.
Yeet!
So, Mac, Kenny Omega, CM Punk, your new world champions, AEW and WWE respectively. How do we feel about it coming into tonight?
I'm okay with the moves. I like the moves. I just dislike how they did it. So you start Monday Night Raw, 5 minutes in, Cody's hurt. You know it's in Chicago. You just know. I should have grabbed the picture where it's Bret Hart and Hulk Hogan, but superimposed over their faces with CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. I should have grabbed that picture, actually. I forgot to. I know people are going to blame the talent. In this case, CM Punk, obviously. We'll talk about that first. I don't. This is not a CM Punk move. I know it reeks of old Pepsi Phil, but this is a booking decision which is made by Triple H. I did not think that Sami Zayn was going to carry the title in SummerSlam. I just didn't. And if you're a smart fan or a pundit or anybody with a rational brain, I apologize. You knew Sami was not going to carry the title in SummerSlam. I thought they'd put the belt back on Cody and you would have a standoff at the end with Cody and CM Punk, and that I felt would have been the right approach, and I think that was everybody's expectation for the outcome of the main event of Monday Night Raw. Not what happened whatsoever. So this brings up kind of questions about where they go with the title now. You didn't see Gunther again after the attack on Cody Rhodes. Is it going to be Gunther and CM Punk? Is it going to be Cody because he's going to be miraculously cleared in time for SummerSlam? Is it going to be somebody just completely different that we have no inclination to figure out? I saw people on different social medias begging Drew McIntyre to come back and face CM Punk. I don't know. I'm not upset that CM Punk is the world champion again, whether it be the WWE champion or the world heavyweight champion. I'm okay with it. I just really dislike the way that, hey, I've been off TV for several months and I'm going to come back and win the title. It just, it leaves kind of a bad taste in my mouth. Other than that, though, I'm okay with him being champion.
The problem that people need to come to the realization of, and you alluded to it earlier, saying that, you know, this is essentially Triple H's decision. It might not be Triple H's decision. CM Punk is making big money, and they essentially want to be able to book in 2-night events the biggest possible matchups you can. CM Punk against whoever, defending the World Heavyweight Champion, defending the WWE Championship, on top of Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. We'll talk about that later with the LA Knight
So hold on a second,
promo.
real quick. Let me interject for a second. If it's not a Triple H decision, that's fine. It's not a CM Punk decision, though.
No, it isn't.
It,
You're
it
right.
could very well be, and I think this is what you were trying to allude to, it could very well be a TKO decision. It could very well be even an ESPN decision. It could be a combination thereof. But at the end of the day, this is not CM Punk saying, give me the fucking title. That's not what this is.
Sami Zayn winning the championship does create buzz. It does create a moment. It creates a moment for that live crowd in Saudi Arabia that they'll never forget. It does create a legitimate kind of heartfelt moment for that environment, for that audience. However, I did wonder if they were going to have him carry the championship going into SummerSlam. And the joke was that Monday he was going to walk in and it was just going to be like Goodfellas, the scene where Joe Pesci walks in. Oh no, bang. Like that was one scenario. The other scenario was Brock Lesnar coming in and just F5ing him off of a haluva kick, going for the haluva kick, and that was it. And he wins the title in like 8 seconds. But what happened is CM Punk came back. The garage door opens up. He is revealed to come in. And, of course, everybody knew in the damn building. Everybody knew. You knew when Cody Rhodes got taken out. It's just like, well, we know how this is going to happen. That famous image where CM Punk is looking at Sami Zayn, and then Sami Zayn is just looking, the look on his face of just like, well, I know it's about to happen now. Sami Zayn was able to get what he wanted. He was able to get the championship. Did he get it for a long time? No. But at the same time, he was able at least to hold it. Is this going to lead to the backlash that it did for when Daniel Bryan lost the championship in like 18 seconds against Sheamus at WrestleMania 28? I don't think so. I don't, because it's not Sheamus going up against who at that point, and we'll get to Sheamus too in a few moments. It's kind of interesting that I brought that up, but really this is the only one that I could think of where a beloved kind of online IWC, but also has the ability to kind of cross over into and Sammy's had those moments. I just don't know if he has that momentum now to be able to cause a mainstream kind of dislike. I didn't hear about it's the most disliked video on YouTube. I didn't hear those facts. I didn't hear that, it's a strong over negative. It seems to be a negative environment where that's the way, the angle that they're playing off with some of the comments that Punk has made in the past now somehow coming back and being prevalent with some of the current talent in the company. But again, that could just be all a part of the angle. I don't know. But I know at this point, I'm happy Punk is champion. I think it's going to be him and Cody at SummerSlam, which I'm excited for. Apparently, night 2, the main event is going to be Seth and Roman. Which will make it easy, because that way I could just go to the movie theater for night 1 if the case is going to be Cody versus Punk. It's like, well, I don't need to go for night 2. I can skip Sunday night then. But apparently night 1 is going to be Hell in a Cell with Obafemi and then and Brock Lesnar. And then it's going to be probably CM Punk versus whoever is going to challenge for the World Heavyweight for the WWE Championship, which apparently is going to be Cody Rhodes. At least that's what the heavy rumor is. But at the same time, Punk comment. Punk has no comment. Punk has no comment. And it's funny because I actually have them both together. The Mega Punks right here. Yes, the new tag team. Check it out now on WWE 2K26. It's funny because Punk is starting to do the cupping of the ear now too. It's like he knows that the discussion and banter online, which makes me think that he is going to play more into the Hulk Hogan kind of persona and character a little bit with some of the things that he does. Because he understands that he's getting some heat because of this. Again, to go with Mac's point, not his decision. I don't think he came into this decision. I going from that promo from the night after WrestleMania, this might have been the plan all along.
Who knows? Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm okay with it. Thought it was a bit of a burial how Sammy got hit with the haluva kick and then the GTS. I'm like, ooh. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. But hey, I'm not the producer. But CM Punk and Roman Reigns, the two men's world champions right now in WWE, which, holy shit. Right? Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it?
Like I said, it's just a weird way of approaching the situation, I feel like. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I'm kind of more so on the fence of just kind of saying, really? Really? That's how you want to do that? Okay. Sure. Whatever works. Whatever floats your boat.
But let's talk about the other World Championship title change that happened this week. We'll talk, or unless we want to talk more about Raw, how are we going to handle this?
You could talk about. Might as well stick with Raw. You could talk about.
We'll stick with Raw.
The LA Knight and Seth Rollins promos, or in Seth Rollins' case, lack thereof.
Oof, that was. There are times in promos where I sit there and I'm just like, he has no answer. That's happened.
He's trying not to smile. He's trying not to laugh.
Because he's trying not to laugh, but because it's like he's got nothing. He's got nothing here. And that promo, I think, I'm getting a text right now. Hey, thanks for the help on the promo. Just wanted to say, you're the man. Yeah. Thanks. All right. Helping friend out, some writing recently. It was interesting because I had a conversation with a student worker that I have, who comes in every summer and he helps us work during the summer. And he's a wrestling fan. And we were talking about Seth Rollins, and I'm just like, he's the most overexposed star in the last 20 years. And he's just like, I'm appreciated. I couldn't put my finger on it, but you just kind of explained it to me in one sentence. And that's kind of just how I feel. As time has gone on, it is proven to me, and it's also what everything that LA Knight has said. Stevie Richards kind of has backed up the point recently in some of the comments that he has made, which Stevie Richards is kind of one of those guys. It's like, I don't think he's Maven, where Maven, I feel like, kind of has some bias, some dumb agenda where
he absolutely does.
At one point, he was a really kind of good resource. Now I think he's trash. Stevie Richards, I think, has always been kind of even keel. Sure. And Rollins, some of the comments he made about Rollins is kind of how I've always felt, of just like, there really is no track record of Seth Rollins being able to be a draw. There really just isn't. Like, the only times that he was successful is when business was good because other people were also on top, like the Bloodline, and he's involved in the WrestleMania 40 storyline. I mean, we put him up against Brock Lesnar a couple of times, and it really didn't do much on business. I mean, the only reason I think that he really got the support he did is because people were really tired of Brock Lesnar as world champion, not showing up on TV all the time. And then, they pretty much straightened that out when they put the belt on Roman, and everybody was just like, "Oh, I guess how that's just going to be now," like,
Yeah.
I guess this is the norm. But that's kind of what happened, where it's like, I felt like that Rollins got a lot of support in 2019 for a babyface run because everybody was just sick of Brock Lesnar. And it was made very obvious when, after he was done with Brock Lesnar and they were putting him up against people like Baron Corbin and others, and it wasn't drawing. It wasn't working. The fans turned against him to the point of that they had to turn him heel. Every time they have tried to make him a focal point, it has been a failure. It just has. And it's been obvious, too, with the Vision. The Vision was not great. It was one of the weak points in the company, especially on Monday Night Raw. The best thing I feel like that could have happened last year was when Rollins got hurt, and then they put the belt back on Punk, and Punk had a great world title reign heading into WrestleMania, which is why giving him the championship again completely makes sense, because he's been a strong presence, a strong world champion when you have had him as your world champion. Rollins is not a strong one. I think in 2023 he had his moments, but I also think he was kind of riding the momentum that was the Bloodline and Roman Reigns. And unfortunately, heading into this, I think everybody was kind of just like, all right, I'm done with this. And it was obvious on Monday when they got the completely wrong reaction from that promo. That promo normally would have been a heel promo at one point. Just somebody going out there and complaining about this guy getting all the title shots. It reminded me of something that Bret Hart would have said in like 1997. And it went the other way because people were seeing somebody that was legitimately frustrated because he hasn't, every single time that he's gotten the reaction and he's been able to run through these invisible barriers that they've set up for him, he has hit it out of the park, and still they have not given him the opportunity that he has well deserved, talking about LA Knight. And they gave him a couple of U.S. title runs, but they haven't given him a sniff of the world championship at all, which is criminal. And you saw that frustration on Monday. I saw a promo that was like, this is somebody that's just like, well, fuck this. Like, at this point,
I don't blame him.
You don't blame him. You don't. And maybe that this is going to be able, because maybe they'll see the reaction and they'll finally realize this is a wake-up call. Like, we got to do something here, because it's, I think people are getting tired of the Rollins act. Of course, this very well could be the end of Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. This could be their last matchup, because who knows if Rollins is finally getting ready to just say, yeah, I'm done. And he just wants to finally do this one last one, do the honors for Roman, because Roman needs this, another notch in his belt, another person he needs to be able to beat in his career. It's like really at this point, it has become, this is Halloween Havoc 98, I feel like, where it's Hogan and Warrior again. Well, we know why we're here, so why don't we just get to it?
I just don't like how they've started to build up some of this talent, and LA Knight's a prime example of this. And Jacob Fatu is another example of it, of building up somebody or somebody getting over by a small build up and then getting over on their own after that, that they then just like sweep under the rug. And I'm starting to get really sick of it. And Sammy is guilty. Sammy was 100% a victim of this too for a long time, because he would build himself up. He was in the bloodline. He made the bloodline better for a long time, and he's got a job to Roman. And then what? 3-4 years later, at this point, then they give him a title for what? 4 days, 5 days, something like that.
9.
Well, whatever, man. Like, just stupid. And I get it. Like, you have talent that you're in love with, but if other talent is getting over on their own merit, you need to do something. And the way to do that isn't a 9-day title run. It's not pull them out of the title scene and then make them a mid-carder for 2 years and then maybe put them back in the scene. But if this was like against like Cody or even Sammy himself, I'd be like, okay, give it to LA Knight. Let's go. It's time. But he's not going to win against Roman Reigns. He's just not.
I am the guy in the boardroom. They have that meeting where it's just like, we have to make cuts. We have to make cuts for the company. And they just see me sitting there, and I'm just saying Seth Rollins, and you just see Triple H getting angry and then throwing me out of the fucking window. Because that's exactly how it's going to go. Because I see Seth Rollins as somebody that's expendable. Like, I understand, yes.
So,
he's a great worker. Yeah, there's 20 guys. Like, Chad Gable is a better worker than Seth Rollins.
So let's segue for a second. You want to talk about expendable. How about the Vision? How about Maxine Dupree? How about Tozawa? And how about Otis? 3 of the people I just mentioned have done jack and or shit in the last 6 to 7 months, if not longer.
Well, Maxine Dupree did completely change her point of view this past Monday. Like, and now has aligned herself.
So how long were the Street Profits tag team champions again? Was that also 9 days? Like, come on.
It felt like it. It felt like 9 weeks, maybe.
It was not 9 weeks. I can tell you that.
It probably wasn't 9 weeks, but it felt like 9 days. They should have. It's like, where was Seth Rollins on the help for that? As soon as he beats Braun Breaker in the cage match, it's like, well, I don't need to help the Street Profits with anything. It's like, you prick. It's like, you didn't see the Maxine Dupree thing coming? You couldn't get Becky out there to help? Jackass.
I mean, Becky's still kind of a heel, though, so that wouldn't really make a lot of sense. But I know what you mean. I just, God, I don't understand. And it's funny because
I do like Paul Heyman shitting on Siri, though.
That was fun. I was a fan of that.
I was talking to her.
It's funny because as soon as he said all he said, I knew that was going to be the line. I just knew that was going to be the line. And sure enough, I was right.
Thanks, wise man.
Thanks.
Talking to her.
I don't know what the hell they're doing. It's wild to me. Even when they had the Judgment Day broads beating up whoever they were beating up, and then EO came out, I'm like, okay, how about you bring Stephanie Vaquer back and get her involved? And how about you bring Bronson Reed back and get him involved instead of fucking Maxine Dupree of all people? I don't understand. And the entire Monday Night Raw show, I'm just sitting there like, this could have been better if they did this. This could have been better if they did this. This could have been better if they did this. Okay, they did that. I'm happy that they did that. But why the fuck did they do it that way? Like, the entire show. And I'm just sitting there frustrated, like, what the fuck?
Meanwhile, the LA Knight promo, you're just like, Bellissimo! Bellissimo!
Yeah!
Brother.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
I can't. But yeah, that was like the one shining point. Some of the matches were good, don't get me wrong, but otherwise I'm just sitting here
Sammy
like,
was good.
It was good. The matches were okay. It was just everything else, I'm just like, what? And now we're having a gauntlet match for Penta's IC title. Just come on. First, it's a ladder match at Mania. Then it's like all these other insignificant matches. Now it's a gauntlet match. It's like, good lord.
Can we just...
And I bet Gable's gonna win. So
Probably.
But hey, you know, let's have him have a really great program in AAA that transcended not only AAA but the main roster too, and just give him a mid-card championship.
Yep, let's just do that.
I just cannot. I cannot. And I can only imagine what SmackDown's going to be like this week. Some kind of epic shit show between Gunther and Cody and CM Punk and Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn, it's just going to be like, how are we going to settle this, guys? I don't know.
That's why I almost think it should be somebody else outside of those three. It will probably be Cody, and I won't be disappointed if it's Cody. But I almost feel like it should be somebody completely different now.
Danhausen.
I'd be okay with that too.
Matt Cardona.
I actually would be okay with that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that either.
Cardona's a good worker. Don't get me wrong. You know, he's if Phil can do it at 47, Cardona can do it at whatever age he is. I think he's like 40, but it's just I don't know what the fuck they're doing sometimes. I really don't, and it just is really, really frustrating.
Speaking of things that we were talking about last week that we kind of alluded to, hey, this is probably something you need to do and not do that stipulation that you've been doing because you kind of don't want to turn MJF and almost Gunther for the stipulation of, well, I'm just going to end your title reign. You're not going to be able to be world champion anymore. Well, Kenny Omega does not have to worry about that anymore, as with a little bit of assistance from Will Ospreay and a little bit of an overbooked finish, you kick out at one after a low blow, and then it's just like, what? What are we doing here? Okay. All right.
It wasn't even one. It wasn't even one. He hits him, he low blows him, and he hits him with the title.
Yes.
I don't even think MJF was on him for a half a second. And he immediately just like, for lack of a better term, hulks up. And I'm like, are you fucking serious right now? Listen, all the love in the world to Kenny Omega. And again, I am happy that CM Punk is champion just as much as I am happy that Kenny Omega is champion. But what the fuck was that?
It was a little bit of an overbooked mess at the end. I was just like, what are he doing here? Like he pretty much is just hulking up. And in the end, after a couple of V-triggers, and then, of course, the one-winged angel, for the first time in over 4.5 years, Kenny Omega is the AEW World Champion again. And, by the way, Will Ospreay is awaiting him at Wembley at All In. As they have announced this week, also, they have half-price tickets, which I'm not laughing at that. I'm just saying that this is all coinciding with the fact that they have now lowered the ticket prices by half for Wembley to try to get the attendance up. But now they have the biggest match possible for the company, for the biggest show possible at the biggest venue possible. So you're doing absolutely everything right. As of right now, it is a one-on-one match. It very well could be a triple threat match. However, I think you keep it one-on-one. This is too big of a match, too big of stakes, two of the best professional wrestlers in the world fighting in the most legendary venue on the planet. It literally is setting up for Bret Hart and British Bulldog 1992 all over again. This is the scenario you now have. And you have to be able to pull the trigger. You've done it. You have the best possible match. the biggest stakes possible, the world championship that has meant absolutely so much, the same thing that Ospreay has been chasing now for so long. And now he has to do it against the man that many people feel that he has been one of his biggest influences in Kenny Omega, in his home country, in Wembley. The stage is set, and they pulled it off. I think that this is, again, like last week we talked about this and saying, you have to do this. You have to do this if you want to get the attendance up. You want to, I didn't say lower the ticket prices, but that'll help. But this definitely will help also.
I don't think that anybody really would have been disappointed by MJF and Will Ospreay, but I think you have a much higher market share for those that are like true wrestling fans with Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. I just think it's a fact. It's nothing against MJF, but when it comes to just wrestling style, you want to see those two go. So I don't hate it. Again, I'm not disappointed by the outcome. It's just, again, how we get there. And I like this better than Sami Zayn and CM Punk. It made a lot more sense. It just, I have to look at everything, and what I dislike is the fact that they overbooked it at the end. They had that stupid finish we just talked about with a low blow and a title shot, and it's like gets up after a half second, if that. But also, was the stipulation really fucking necessary?
No.
And why? And here's the way my brain works. You have, or I should say had in one case, you had two guys that lost that stipulation match with Hangman Adam Page and Cody Rhodes previously that could not go after that title. And the Cody thing, that was his decision, fine, whatever. I don't know about the Hangman thing, I don't really care, but it's kind of odd to me that the guy that wins that stipulation is Kenny Omega. I don't find it odd in the sense that, like, he shouldn't be the one to finally beat the streak or whatever the fuck you want to call it, beat the stipulation. I just don't like it, because why bother having the stipulation in the match then? I'm not going to sit here and say that Hangman Adam Page should never be world champion ever again. I'm not going to say that. His last run, or 2 runs ago, whatever it was good. I'm obviously not going to say that Cody Rhodes is not championship material, because he's like a 3 or 4 time champion since he went to WWE a few years ago.
Might be champion again after.
He's got to be champion again at some point. Which might not be SummerSlam, but it's going to be eventually, right? Like, he's going to be world champion again. I've talked about this in other contexts, and the phrase is diminishing returns. And that's what the stipulation is to me. It's diminishing returns. I think, and I said it before about Sami Zayn, I'll say it about Kenny Omega. If anybody walked into this match thinking Kenny Omega was going to lose, I please check yourself into a mental health facility. It's just, everybody knew he was going to win.
I mean, there's still that thought. There's still that kind of mentality because, Kenny is getting up there in age. You wonder if this was going to be his decision to be like,
fucking Will Ospreay at
I know.
All In. This is their WrestleMania, and it's at Wembley again. I'm sorry.
I know, but you never know. You never know, considering who's booking, because I'll say this, Tony will take risks unlike others. He will take risks.
I guess, but I don't know, man. I just don't know. I feel like with this one, I'm not, and again, I'm not going to sit here and say that MJF versus Will Ospreay would be a bad match. I'm not going to say that at all. But I just feel that, again, when you have Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay, two guys that have fairly similar styles, you've held off, I feel like, on truly anointing Will Ospreay and this promotion. And I'm not going to sit here and say you can't be anointed by MJF, but it's that much more impactful for it to be against Kenny Omega. It's just true. It would be like, I like, people are going to talk about Oba and Brock, obviously, at SummerSlam. If he beat Brock for the title, it would be that much more impactful. Obviously, it's not going to make a difference regardless of who he beats. It could be CM Punk. It could be Cody Rhodes. It could be Roman Reigns. It could be anybody. It could be this year, for all we know, or really, I guess, next year at WrestleMania. It could be any of that. But, again, like, you have a generational talent in both these guys, really. They're both generational talents. It's just...
Yes.
And MJF is too, don't get me wrong. But again, MJF wrestles a very different style compared to both of them. He just does. So I hate to use the phrase dream match, but this is a dream match. Let's be real.
It's happened before.
Not for the title.
They have done it before. Well, not for this championship. Not for the championship, the one that has reached the stakes as AEW's World Championship has. It has been a very good lineage, a very, very deep lineage. Some great performers have held it in that company. Of course, Kenny Omega, this is his second time holding it. John Moxley has held it multiple times. MJF, Darby Allin, CM Punk, Hangman Page, Chris Jericho. I believe that's everybody.
I don't know if I would have included that last guy, but I get you.
I mean, Jericho, of course, this past Wednesday also lost by pocket sand to Tommaso Ciampa. So
Pocket sand.
pocket sand. Hell,
I played it, don't worry.
of course. So it was an interesting Dynamite to see someone lose by pocket sand, and then Kenny Omega win the championship again. Chris Van Fleet said something very interesting a few weeks back after WrestleMania in a press conference. It wasn't not a press conference, but it was like one of those kind of presser events. Somebody asked him a question, and he was talking about CM Punk, and he just said, this could have been CM Punk's last World Championship, so it's something you needed to kind of savor, which this very well could be CM Punk's last World Championship victory happening in Chicago, happening going into SummerSlam. This could be the very last championship run kind of program that he does where he's the champion or wins the championship. So it might be something to savor. It's the same thing too with Kenny Omega. This could also be his swan song as a world champion as well. So it might be something that people kind of need to sit here and kind of look at and just say, yeah, we got to take this all in, because this could be the last time that we see two generational talents like this at their top level challenging for world championships. And it's when you have guys or women that you appreciate as your favorites, you all want them to be the world champion. So if CM Punk and Kenny Omega are some of your favorites, like they are mine, you're on cloud nine this week. All is right in the world. As I posted early on our social media today, are the angels singing or is it just me? And that's how I feel on that aspect
I
of it.
really wanted to comment. It's just you, by the way. I again, like, I've made it very clear, I feel like, that I'm a fan of both of them.
Yes.
But I just really dislike how they went about it. Both companies, really.
Not
More
their
so
fault.
WWE. More so WWE.
Not the talent's fault. I
No,
understand.
I
why.
100% do not blame the talent at all. I do not blame the talent whatsoever. I don't blame MJF. I don't blame Sami Zayn. Just like I don't blame, Gunther and Cody Rhodes for the extracurricular. Same thing with Will Ospreay, and obviously same thing with CM Punk and Kenny Omega. I don't blame any of the talent that is involved in any of these storylines or matches. Because to me that's dumb. I get it. You have people that you like and dislike in life, and I understand that, but this is not real. Like I have to say that way. These are predetermined results, people. It's predetermined. It's not Sami Zayn's fault. It's not MJF's fault. Just fucking stop. Please. Just fucking please. Just stop.
Don't let because
But you know what I mean.
I have to also admit this now, and you might not know this. I think you actually might do. I'm actually Facebook friends with the "It's Still Real to Me, Damn It" guy. So
I knew that you were previously. I didn't know that you still were.
Yes, we're still friends. So it's like, so when you hear that, it's just like, but every time, like you say something like that, or like Steph said it a couple of times on the show in the past, and that's the first thing that just keeps replaying in my head. It just keeps going over and over again.
But here's the thing, man.
That's not me saying that. It's someone else.
But it's
like, because I don't think that way.
It's it's a fucking TV show.
Thanks, Vince Russo.
But he's not wrong. That's one of the few things I actually agree with Russo on. It's a fucking TV show.
It's a fucking TV show.
You're writing and booking for a TV show. It's not fucking Stranger Things, but it's a fucking TV show.
You sound like Shatner when he did that SNL skit.
Oh my God!
Star Trek. It's just a TV show. It's just a TV show. Get a life, will you, people?
I mean, if people want to complain about the newer Star Treks, please 100% complain about them. But other than that, I just listen. At the end of the day, I don't blame the talent. I blame the companies and the bookers and any of those involved in writing said stories. Because as we said for WWE, it could be TKO decision, it could be an ESPN decision, it could be any number of those things. It might very well just be Triple H. I don't know. But it's just, I'm not going to hate on the talent for any of that. I'm not a fan of how we got there. One idea that I do have outside of the three that we kind of talked about for the WWE title, isn't Randy Orton due for a fucking return at some point?
I think so, because I keep seeing like trademarks being kind of thrown around. So.
I think it's time. I just actually Googled this because I couldn't remember. CM Punk and Randy Orton have not had a match since May 1st, 2011. It was, so I Googled this. This is the Google answer. The last major televised one-on-one match between Randy Orton and CM Punk took place on May 1st, 2011 at Extreme Rules. Randy Orton defeated CM Punk in a brutal last man standing match.
That would be great for SummerSlam, to be quite honest.
That's why I said it. I think you need to remove Cody a little bit here. I think you need to remove Gunther a little bit here. Sammy does not need to be in the world title picture. Sorry, not sorry. I think Cody and Gunther should do something else for a little bit. Finish their feud at SummerSlam, and then whoever wins can challenge for the title again next. I don't really care. But I think that you put a lot of hype into Randy Orton getting number 15. I'm not opposed to giving it to him.
No, me neither.
Especially against CM Punk, not for nothing.
Or don't also just be like, well, it's going to be Jey Uso, because then it's just going to be like, no yeet.
If I could reach the computer to slap you right now, I would. No yeet.
No yeet.
No yeet.
So,
speaking of Jey Uso, we might as well talk about that. Apparently his wife has filed for divorce.
Oh, I wonder why.
Yeah.
I mean,
Can't
it's
imagine
not like
why.
it's not like he's flaunting Jada Parker around. And,
Yeah, no,
like,
not at all.
Like, come on, folks. Like, it's just he's out there. He's just like, yeah, she's my woman. It's just like, well, I mean, aren't you married, dude? Not anymore.
Yeah, see, it'd be
Christ.
one thing if it was like a storyline like Theory and Maxine. They're on two different fucking shows on two completely different rosters, sir.
I mean, it's. I mean, how do you? Whatever. I mean,
Whatever floats your boat. Like
Whatever.
I'm not one to judge, but
yes.
at the same token, it's
I'm
one of
not
those
the one to
situations.
judge either. but
It's just
at
one of
the
those
same time-
situations. It's like you are investing so much into this character to get him to be very well liked by families and children, and they're singing his song, and it's just like, you're a douche.
He really is. It's just it's proving everything that like I can't stand about the guy. Like it's just everything. It's like. By the way, I was able to get rid of the last of my Jey Uso figures this week. It is out of my house.
Yeet!
So it's like, thank God for that, because it's just I don't need this stinker at my house. It's like, no yeet. It's out of here. It's out of here. Long gone.
Yeet!
So and I was able to get some. I was able to get my first Chelsea Green figure in the house. So, along with my first Coco Beware figure and another Randy Orton, because my birthday gift certificate rush finally came in. So it was just like, oh, okay. All right. So,
Very nice.
yes. So, yeah, it's been an interesting week. Kenny Omega, your new AEW World Champion, and the WWE Championship now belongs to CM Punk for the first time since 2013. So just when we thought the summer really couldn't get interesting, July 4th happens. And now next week being in the middle of the July almost, we could be headed into a very interesting summer with some big time marquee matches happening at the biggest shows of the year this summer. And we will definitely be talking about it. We will be previewing it. We will be reviewing it. We will be covering it. We will be talking about it extensively and probably at least going to see one of the shows in the theater or two. We don't know yet. But
Could be
it should
three,
an
because you know what happens that weekend is the new Spider-Man drops that Friday.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about this.
I saw that the other day when I was watching one of the ads on TV for it, and I was just like, wait a minute. So Spider-Man comes out Friday, and then SummerSlam is Saturday and Sunday. It's like, oh, man. It's crazy.
Just summer blockbuster after summer blockbuster. Why not?
Blockbuster weekend, yeah.
Hey, it's a blockbuster night. Ah!
How very 1990s of you.
I know, right? So, we're going to get out of here, folks, but we wanted to at least give our review of everything. And yes, some of us are happy that there are two new world champions because some of them are our favorite wrestlers. But, Mac, I do agree with you. The execution could have been a lot better. And I'm sure a lot of you agree, too. The execution could have been a lot better. I mean, even though there's a lot of you right now that are probably just like CM Hogan. So... what you gonna do?
I just hate those analogies, man. Like, I really do. I get it, like, but they're not Hogan. Like, the business is so different now. This isn't, creative control, brother. It's just not. So I'm not gonna blame the talent, and if people want to, then God bless. But I'm just not gonna do it.
I heard that in a quiet place on Monday that you could hear Real American playing. Like you could just hear it. Like quiet place because he was doing his pose off just in spirit of CM Punk winning the championship. and doing business the way he would have done it. So we will see you all next week, folks. See you here on PWW Talks, and we will talk to you soon. Bye, everybody. Thanks again.
Pocket sand. Yeah.